Guys, Mosh here. Just wanted to do another quick Mosh rant, technically about Iron Maiden, in the sense that, well, I mean, it's not really a rant per se. I just want to talk about Iron Maiden, my experience with them as a band, what I've come to love about them, what I've come to dislike about them, like what albums I like, what albums I dislike, for example. What else? They had three singers. They have a rich history. They're a really well-known band around the world. Everyone knows Iron Maiden. They're great. I'm gonna start off with the first two albums, Killers and Iron Maiden. Their self-titled album. The first album, Running Free, love it. You know, not Power Slave. I was gonna say, Prowler, freaking amazing song. Running Free is like one of those iconic songs. Definitely. Killers I didn't like too much. That album was kind of like iffy on it. That album was like more but that was Paul's last album from Iron Maiden before they kicked him off. Well, he quit, quote unquote, or he was fired or relieved. In reality, it's just one of those things where it's hard to you know, the milk and crannies of what it is between Steve Harris at the time and Paul, like whatever happened between them. But then they got Bruce Dickinson, who was really good. He started off with what's that album? Run to the Hills. Run to the Hills was his starting album with Iron Maiden, and then he did Peace of Mind. Then he did From Peace of Mind to Power Slave to, I want to say, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, and then from Seventh Son of a Seventh Son to No Prayer for the Dying to Fear of the Dark before he left to do his solo career. Up to that point, I liked Run to the Hills. Was freaking his iconic album. That's pretty much what gave Iron Maiden success globally. Bruce is the one who's more popular with the band and with the fans. He's really good. He's not a bad singer. I like that album actually. Run to the Hills. Forgive me, it's not Run to the Hills. Number of the Beast. Forgive me, the Number of the Beast. Run to the Hills. That's a good song though. But yeah, Run to the Beast. Peace of Mind, that album I really liked The Trooper and Where Eagles Dare to Fly off that album. The other album, which was Power Slave, it's a good album. I like it. Aces High. I like a lot of songs off Power Slave. Rhyme of the Ancient Matter was their the longest song ever that they've ever recorded up till the release of Book of Souls, which Empire of the Clouds is their longest current song. Back from 2014's When the Wild Wind when Final Frontier, When the Wild Wind Blows, that song was the longest one. But out of those songs, they're all good. But Power Slave up to that point was the longest for me. Off Power Slave, Ancient Manner of Rhymes or some shit like that. That song was the longest one. That album was pretty good. Seven Son of the Seven Son is an amazing album. No Prayer for the Dying, I'm okay with 2 songs. 3 technically. I really didn't like that album too much, but that one gave me Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. Freaking amazing song. No Prayer for the Dying, self-titled song, is amazing. Besides that, I mean, there's like one more song I kind of like, Tail Gunner, kind of like that one. But the rest of the album was like okay for me. Then Fear of the Dark, underrated album, one of their best albums in my opinion, one of Bruce Dickinson's best albums that I love. Besides, I'll get into the other album that I like a little bit later. But yeah, up to that point, then he went to do a solo career. Then they got Blaze Bailey. He's a really good singer. I actually started off with Future Real with him. I like that album a lot. Besides Fear of the Dark, and The Number of the Beast and the first Iron Maiden album. But for me, that album was freaking well made, like from beginning to end. I love that whole album. The X Factor for his first introduction to Iron Maiden was okay. A lot of fans didn't like him. I can see why, because he was kind of like very similar to Bruce Dickinson. He didn't really bring anything different to the table at that point, which I think Steve Harrison got him for that purpose, to play it safe, which really hurt the band. But that's fine, because he ended up not showing up for a third album because Steve Harris and Bruce Dickinson reconciled, and then they decided to go on fourth, with Adrian Smith to bring them back into the band. Baze Bailey was pretty much relieved of his duties from Iron Maiden at that point. From the early 90s to the early 2000s, he was pretty much released. Blaze was okay. He's not a bad singer. I actually like I said, Future Real was a really good album. Then 2000s, Brave New World, when Bruce Dickinson came back, that album was fucking sick. I love a couple songs off that one. Then my favorite one, Dance of Death. That's my favorite Iron Maiden, the best Iron Maiden album that was ever made, in my opinion. I love that album from beginning to end. I can just put it in and I'll never get bored of it. Definitely, if you have never listened to Iron Maiden, the first album you should really check out is... First two albums you should really check out is definitely Dance to Death. And then the next one, in my opinion, you would have to check out is Fear the Dark and Future Real. Well, those three albums, because those three are my favorite albums out of all of Iron Maiden's categories. But the best place to start would be the Greatest Hits album, The Best of the Beast. Honestly, one of the best albums. Whatchamacallit? I don't know. Like, when it comes to their 13th album, Life a Matter of Death, it's an okay album. The Final Frontier is another good album, but like I said, I only like a couple songs. But you gotta dig. You gotta fucking dig. Their new album, Book of Souls. I'm loving Empire Clouds. The melody, everything is just, oh my god, it's the best orchestrated piece I've ever heard from a heavy metal band in a long time. Iron Maiden just nails it right there. But that's practically the focus of them. Alright, this is Mosh coming back to you. Next time, I'm gonna get better at this. Alright. Love, rate, and subscribe. Thanks.